Thank you, thank you. Oh, okay. Welcome. Yeah, you find it very Oh, did I not come here last time? No, I just got it like last week. Maybe 3 years in my head. I want your tour. It's over. Oh, forgetting, unforgetting, unforgetting God. You can topic that you select it for you. You can make any topic. Yes, we'll give you something.
Who's playing the Vinoda?
Who is playing with him? There's no Vinoda player here. Maharaj.
Show card.
This
This is not wow. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Pragajanavandana Yashodanandana Pragajanavandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Radha Madhava Radha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Shantaya Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Madhavaya Keshava Namaha, Madhavaya Madhavaya Keshava Namaha, Madhavaya Madhavaya Keshava Namaha, Madhavaya Madhavaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Nitai Gauranga Bolo, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Hare, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Bolo, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Hare, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai 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 Hare Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna,
Jayam Vishwad Paramahamsa Parivadikacharya Shtokta Satratri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prabhupada Ki Prabhupada Anuga Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitya Gaur Premanande. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories of Sri Guru Gauranga, all this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is chapter 6, text 30. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mahi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sajanave pranashyati. Reading from chapter 6, text 30. Again, please repeat. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra
Yo Pashyati Sarvati
tasyaham na pranashyami
Tasam Swami
sachame na pranashyati.
Sarvati
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra
Pashyati Sarvati
sarvam cha mayi pashyati
Swami Pashyati
tasyaham na pranashyami
Swami
sachame na pranashyati.
Swati
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra
Pashyati Sarvati
sarvam cha mayi pashyati
Swami Pashyati
tasyaham na pranashyami
Swami
sachame na pranashyati.
Swati
Yaha whoever mam may pashyati sees sarvatra everywhere sarvam everything cha and mahi in me pashyati sees tasya for him aham I na not pranashyami and lost saha he cha also me to be na not pranashyati is lost. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Please repeat this. For one who sees me everywhere, sees everything in me,
and sees everything in me,
I am never lost,
I am never lost,
nor is he ever lost to me.
nor is he ever lost to me.
Purport: a person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all the separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna. Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Jurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santha Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord, Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyama Sundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swaram Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sakratatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitamtam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Cha Mayi Pashyati. That one who sees me everywhere. What does this actually mean? To say that I see Krishna everywhere. It's a very profound statement. To say that Krishna never loses sight of his devotee, and the devotee never loses sight of Krishna. This does not mean ordinary eyesight, obviously. What we see using our eyes as an instrument, that is different from being conscious of Krishna. Whether you see or don't see, you're conscious of Krishna. It's not that our consciousness of Krishna is dependent on the eyesight. It's not the meaning of that. The meaning of that is even if you didn't have eyes, you will be conscious of Krishna. You feel the presence of Krishna. Right? So in the famous story of Bilvamangal Thakur getting blinded by himself, Krishna came to attend to him. He was constantly seeing the presence of Krishna with him. But he was blind. But he was in Krishna consciousness. Because when Krishna said, okay, I'll disappear now, he could feel that he is not having the presence of Krishna. So, pure devotees and Krishna consciousness is not based on the senses, it's based on consciousness. It's based on consciousness. So, being Krishna conscious is something greater than just seeing Krishna. Just seeing Krishna. Seeing Krishna is for people who are sadhakas. That is why we go to the temple to see Krishna. Only if we go to the temple we can see Krishna, otherwise we cannot see Krishna. Otherwise, we are Krishna unconscious a lot of the time. And busy with all our other things, doing so many things, everything, and then that's why we have to go to the temple. Sadhaka means he has to attend to the temple, see the deity, do this thing and everything. So pure devotees of the Lord are with Krishna. So this is the statement made by Krishna to Durvasa Muni. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvayam mattane na jananti. I don't know anybody else but my devotee. My devotee doesn't know anybody else but me. Very massive statements he makes. When Durvasa Muni has been chased by the Sudarshan Chakra and he has travelled 6 months with the heat of the Sudarshan Chakra and the backside of him and landed in Vaikuntha and fell flat at the feet of the Lord. Save me. And then he is saying that I cannot save you from the Sudarshan Chakra actually. Because you know what's happened. And Durvasa Muni has actually been a little offensive to the Lord, to the devotee. Because of that, you get a feedback after some time. Should I going? I want to keep that there.
Is it? Yeah, even like when I think I try to
But
elevate that platform.
you just, I don't know, you get a feedback. So, what does it mean to say, the statement is made by Krishna here, and he makes a statement in the Bhagavatam in many places, especially in this Leela with Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni's Leela is the Lord is telling him, you should go back. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. In the sadhu's hridaya, I am always there, and in my heart always a sadhu is there. They don't know anybody else but me. And I also don't know anybody else but them. These are all very solid statements. These are statements of Krishna consciousness. I don't know anything else but my devotee. It's a statement made by Krishna. So, when we say that the devotee sees Krishna everywhere, does not mean everything is Krishna, according to our understanding. It's called pantheism. Everything is God. Everything is God. Why? Because it's mentioned here in the Bhagavad Gita. The devotee sees God everywhere. So everything must be God. That's not wrong. What the devotee is seeing in his consciousness is not the way to translate that to say everything is God. Everything is not God. Everything is God's energy. Everything is, you can say, God's energy. So all these cut and paste, we just boldly make these statements. No? Everything is God. Because it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. That's not what's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. It's because of his consciousness he sees everything belonging to Krishna. He's reminded of Krishna. He's Krishna conscious. A child is very attached to the mother, always. So when the mother is not there, he knows. And sees the mother's chapel, sees the mother's, churidar, he immediately starts crying. He's reminded of the mother. In full consciousness of the mother, the child is. That's the meaning of it. It's not that the chudidar is the mother. That's not the way the child is seeing. Is reminded of the mother in full consciousness of the mother, crying for the mother. I'm giving you a crude example. So devotee, he knows everything comes from Krishna. It's all Krishna's energy. This is the meaning of saying Sarvatra Mayi Pashyati. That he is separated from Krishna and he is so much in love of Krishna. When he sees anything concerned with Krishna, attached to Krishna, his energy is reminded so much about Krishna. Is reminded so much about Krishna. When Krishna disappeared from the gopis, also when Krishna left Vrindavan, Akrura came and took Krishna. The gopis stopped the chariot. They held the wheels together. And they said, don't go, don't go. And they even, spoke to Akrura and saying, you are cruel. You are very cruel. Your name is Akrura, but you are actually cruel. Because you're taking Krishna away. There cannot be a greater violence on us than taking Krishna away. But Krishna pacified them. It's mentioned pacified them. But it's mentioned that because of separation from Krishna, they became intensely Krishna conscious. They were more Krishna conscious when Krishna left Vrindavan. And it's mentioned that in order to increase their love for Krishna, Krishna left. He did not leave, of course, Vrindavan. It's mentioned that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanam parityacha eka padam na gachanti. Leaving Vrindavan, he'll not take one step outside of Vrindavan, but he just became aprakat to them. He didn't appear, but he was watching them very carefully and seeing their intense love for him. They became doubly, triply Krishna consciousness. They're full of Krishna. Right? So, pantheism and other types of philosophies is not the meaning of this. It's a state of consciousness that the person is so absorbed because Krishna has got those qualities that he can attract his devotees to such an intense extent. Sarva Adbhuta Chamatkara Leela Kallola Varidivi Atulya Madhura Prema Mandita Priya Mandala Trijaga Manasa Karshi Murali Kalakojita Asamodha Rupa Shri Visma Pita Chara Chara. There are 4 qualities of Krishna which are very unique to him, which even Narayana does not have, Vishnu does not have, which are very unique to Krishna. Asamauddhava Rupa Shri Vismapita Charachara. That incomparably beautiful form he's got. Rupa. Asamauddhava Rupa Shri. No equal to that form. No equal to that beauty. Vismapita Charachara. Bewilders the entire creation with his beauty. Leela Kallora Varadhi, it performs these amazing pastimes. It's so wonderful, it lifts a whole golden idol on his little finger. Just lifts it. There are amazing things. Nobody can even believe it that he did it, but they all saw him doing it. He lifted the whole golden on his little pinky. Amazing things he does. He kills all his demons. Small boy. It is Leela Kallola Varadidi. Atulya Madhura Prema Mandita Priya Mandala. Filled with Krishna Prema, all the devotees are around him, who are very close to him and he is very close to them. He's always surrounded by devotees, the Gopas, the Gopis, Nanda Maharaj, Yashodamani. He's never alone by his dear devotees. Trijaga Manasa Karshi Murali Karakujitaha. He plays the flute, that Trijaga or the three, worlds will get completely, stunned by the play of his flute. So these are four qualities that are amazingly attractive, which all other manifestations of the Lord like Narayana and Vishnu don't have. Right? So it is not an ordinary object of attraction that we are talking about. In the material world, we know only attraction according to the three modes. We are passionate about something. And when you're in Tamogun, you like something so funny that other people think, wow, how can you like such a thing? Because you're in Tamogun, you like it. I love it. I want it. And it's all according to the gunas. You get attracted to something sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Our attraction to something is governed by the modes. It's not natural. But when we are free from the modes, we can show a natural attraction to Krishna. That's the point. And so these attractions which we are talking about is far, far beyond the attractions of the material world. When we say beauty, it is not a beauty that is influenced by the modes. For us, something is beautiful, somebody is beautiful. It's all influenced by the modes. So different people are very beautiful. For somebody in the Tamasika mode, somebody else who's got dyed her hair violet, shaved the head half, and it's all pointing like this, and got a mush the opposite side alone, painted blue, and has a ring only on one ear, and is wearing some jazzy clothing, half of it is not covering his body. So how beautiful, wonderful. That says, and they're featured in the best fashion magazine and everything together. It's all Tamasic. Tamasic people get attracted, and you wonder, how beautiful about it. No, it's jarring colors and so fine. It's so crazy looking. And one false eyebrow and the other, it's all funny, completely out of sync. For you, it's looking like that. But for the Tamasic person who's it, he's mad after it. He's mad. You can't make sense of it in the material world because it is modes acting. What is beautiful for one person looks completely detestable for another person. Hare Krishna, would you like to join? Yeah, so the modes are figuring in. And that's how we decide what is attractive. So when we talk about Krishna's attraction, don't think it's like one of those attractions. It's nothing to do with it at all. It is very, very different. Very different. You just it's mentioned like that parwana during the rainy season. What do you call that? That small insect comes in. Firefly type of, not firefly. Firefly is one that emits fire.
A moth.
Not like a moth. You have the small insects when it rains and all, it comes all over and gets stuck in the bulb and burns itself.
Firefly.
It's attracted to the fire. It's called firefly? Okay. Like that, just cannot help yourself. Just I don't mind getting burnt.
I can imagine. So, Krishna is so attractive, especially to the pure soul. You just can't stop that attraction. This is a transcendental, it's completely different attraction. And that's what's being spoken about. If Krishna comes and stands in front of it, we may not be very much affected. Actually, we'll think, okay, where did you get this from? Where shop did you get this from? How does the earring? Is it made of this thing, or is it plated, or is it? You will analyze it and completely under the modes. That's why Krishna doesn't come in front of you. Because you cannot. That's why he comes in the form of deity. You yourself dress and make it beautiful. According to your imagination, you dress and make him beautiful, and then it's so nice. This way, you've done seva and you're appreciating Krishna according to your own taste. But if Krishna comes in his own original beauty, most probably you don't know how to appreciate it unless you're a devotee of that level that you get attracted. You most probably will not get attracted. Or you may have a different type of a feeling, completely different. So, when we say that a devotee is saying that I see Krishna everywhere, he is madly in love with Krishna. Not only because of the form, this is another thing. It's not only because of the form. Paundraka got attracted to the form, the Lord. Form is so beautiful that Paundraka was constantly thinking about this form. So much so that he himself was like the form. He put another two arms. Even Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, he wanted to go there, they सिर्फ दो है यार और एक लगा लेंगे. He just put two more, and then he held his Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in it, and he, dressed himself like that. He put a kiridam on his head, put a peacock feather, held a flute in his hand, and all that. And he was so absorbed in the form, he went to Krishna and said, "You are not the real Vasudeva, I am the Vasudeva." Absorbed in the form so much. And Krishna laughed, and all of them laughed together, along with this, boldly coming and saying, "Stop, you are not the real Vasudeva. I am the real Vasudeva. I challenge you." And all that. And Krishna took his Sudarshan Chakra and cut off his head and laughed while doing it. But he gave him credit for it. You're absorbed in my form, which is absolute. And you normally, in the people in the material world, don't get attracted to a form so easily. They have to sit and worship the form for a long time and they get absorbed in it, then they get attracted. But he was like openly attracted to. So he gave him credit and he got Sarupya Mukti. He got a place in Vaikuntha with a four-handed form, like the Lord, and he became a servant of the Lord, absorbed in the Lord. This elevation Krishna gave him, why? He's attracted to my form, which is very different from being attracted to anything else. One good quality in you is you got attracted to my form, which is absolute. And so Krishna purified him completely with the Sudarshan Chakra, made him fit to be a resident of Vaikuntha, and said, "You can enjoy my form here." So in Vaikuntha, it seems everybody has the same form as the Lord. The only difference is a Srivatsa on the chest. The Lord has Srivatsa on the chest, everybody else doesn't have it. This is a Sarupya Mukti. So that's the meaning of attraction to Krishna's form. So do not think that this is an ordinary attraction. It's very intense. So therefore, such an intense feeling of love for the form alone can give you this. What to speak of actually loving Krishna in person? Not only the form and all other things, in person, falling in love with the Lord as a personality. The gopis, the gopas, and all of them were in love with Krishna as the supreme personality. As you understand, it's not this love is also not meant for me to enjoy your personality or for me to enjoy your form and like that. I simply love you so much. I only want to serve you. The idea is to serve. In the material world, when we get attracted to anything material, we want to enjoy it. It's mentioned in the purport is saying how you want to exploit everything in this world. Our attraction is to get some enjoyment out of that. I like this very much. I want to keep seeing it, I want to keep feeling it, I want to enjoy it sensually. That's the meaning of our attraction. We know only that. This is actually a conditioning. It's not really something that gives you full pleasure for the soul. It's according to the modes you enjoy it. But the enjoyment of the Atma in association with the Lord, in service of the Lord, that is of a completely different nature. That's what's described here. When Krishna says, Sarvam cha mayi pashyati, he will see me everywhere because he is in love with me. That love of Krishna is not ordinary falling in love with the next door girl. And he wrote a small letter to her and then looked through the window. And then she looks through the window and it's all lust, not love. It's got nothing to do with love. Nothing to do with love. Prabhupada said the only vestige in a small shade of that love is the mother's love for the child. You can't see that love anywhere else. But the world is modes and lust and everything. It's got no true love anywhere. But this is true love. This is the meaning of saying when I'm in love, especially when I'm in love with Krishna, nothing I can think of. I can't think of it. It completely occupies my. That is why when the gopis were met with in Kurukshetra, Krishna meets them. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas have commented on it. Because Krishna now looks different. He's coming with different dress and he's coming on a chariot with soldiers and many people, and he's got 16,108 wives and he's got palaces and all the queens with their attendants and such a huge amount of people. He's in between that and very royal and regal. He's coming and he's at that time seeing the Vrindavan Vasis, very simple people, village people, with their cows and with their ropes and with their this thing. You can see the difference in opulence. And when Krishna sees them, he's completely unnerved because of his love for them and because of their love for him, which is so pure and 100% sincere. He starts speaking to them that, my dear gopis and Vrindavan Vasis, he starts speaking Bhagavad Gita to them. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, and Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, and all the gopis are looking at him, what is he talking? What's he talking? When he's preaching to us, we are wanting to forget him. We're unable to forget you. And you're telling us always remember me, Manmana Bhava. It's ridiculous. It seems the gopis said, it's ridiculous. What are you talking? Because he didn't know what to talk. Krishna also is in love with his gopis and Vrindavan Vasis so much that it seems he just talked something. And he spoke, I am the Supreme Lord, my devotees will always for attraction from me and all that. ABCD of spiritual life, Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Shastri and all that. It's not what the gopis want to hear. They said, just come with us. I think you have lost yourself. And they just dragged him to Vrindavan. And he also couldn't say no to it because of the power of love. These are all the dynamics of bhakti. It's not an ordinary thing. It's not a small thing that we are being introduced to. We're not being introduced to something small. The personality of God and Krishna, an attraction for him is not a small thing. Everybody is attracted. Everyone is attracted. The gopis and Vrindavan Vasis and all that are a very high level of attraction for the Lord. So when the Lord himself is saying, Sarvam cha mayi pashyati, he knows what condition they are in. Because they've fallen in love with him. And I am the most attractive. Right? I know what your condition will be if you fall in love with him. If you fall in love with me, I know what your condition will be. And I come to enjoy that condition as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When it is so good a condition, it's so enjoyable and you're raptured fully in it, that I myself want to come and put myself in that and enjoy it. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He goes mad in ecstasy of love of Godhead. Right? So when Krishna is making this statement, my devotees are like this, you'd understand it very deeply. It's not an ordinary thing. What did Lord Chaitanya do inside the Gambhira for 18 years? He was in ecstasy. He was going mad in love of Godhead. He was rubbing his nose against the wall. Krishna was bleeding. He was bleeding. And then he disappeared from that place and ran into the sea. Ran into the sea. And in the sea, the boatman caught him in a net. And it seems his lips had come out disjointed. The shoulder was disjointed, the hand was completely disjointed, hanging only on the skin. And so also his legs. And all his hairs were standing on end completely. And he was, Krishna, Krishna, he was just completely. And the boatman is thinking, what a strange fish I caught. What is this? He's saying Krishna, Krishna. And he also started saying Krishna, Krishna. And because he has got this fish, which is, he's physically associated with it, he also became afflicted by that same, feeling. And he's a Krishna, Krishna, he was also mad. When they found Lord Chaitanya, finally he disjointed like this and this thing, they were shocked beyond this thing. How can I understand this? Right? And then when they did Harinam Sankirtanam, he came back to his position. So these are aspects of devotion, love, and Krishna recognized them. This is the meaning of saying, Sarvam cha mai pashyati. When a devotee is in love with the Lord like this, and he sees anything connected with the Lord, he go in ecstasy. Pundarika Vidyanidhi just heard Krishna's name. He was on a big palanquin being carried by people and, whatnot. And when Gadadhar went along with Mukunda to see, he said, what type of a devotee you said is very great devotee. He looked so opulent. Some people I heard say that he was smoking a hookah also on the palanquin, lying down. He thought, how can he be a devotee? Like that in his mind. He just had doubts. How can he? And then when he was reminded of Krishna and his pastimes of Krishna, he became completely mad remembering Krishna. He tore the pillow, the bed, everything. And Gadadhar watched this and said, my gosh, this is an ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, remembering Krishna. Yeah. Similarly, who's that devotee who saw the peacock fan? Mukunda. Saw the peacock fan, is reminded of Krishna and he just fainted. Who is a Vaidya? He's a medical man. He's a doctor. And the king saw that, was sitting on a stool next to him and examining him and all that. He saw the peacock fan, is reminded of Krishna, and then boom, fell down. And he got down from his throne and said, what's wrong with you? Mukunda, are you okay? No, it's okay, it's just temporary. And he said, no, this is not temporary. Something really happened to you. I know something has happened to you. No? You could understand. So these are all symptoms of a devotee who is attracted to Krishna and Krishna consciousness, not just physical aspects. So when Krishna makes this statement, we should know that this is the meaning of intense Krishna consciousness. We are all capable of developing bhakti in that level. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was a person who was like that. he was quite often in his lectures, you will see very emotional talking about Krishna. But the difficulty he would control himself, pause a little bit and then speak. You can see an emotional in his voice. He's always very deeply reminded of Krishna and speaking about Krishna. So ordinarily people who give explanations of the shloka in all sorts of ways, I've seen it, I've heard it, completely different. It's not that everything is Krishna. And we merge into that Krishna. And we will also become one of the everything. There are all kinds of nonsense explanations, which is not really true. Which, if you are a devotee, you never think like that. You never give an explanation like that. That's why attraction to the Lord, Krishna consciousness, is a very deep subject matter. It's to do with our consciousness. And when we reach the purified stage of Krishna consciousness, then a devotee is at that level of attraction to the Lord. And there's nothing that he can see, feel, touch, remember apart from Krishna. This is the meaning of love of Krishna. This is the meaning of love of Krishna. Of course, in the material world also you see sometimes people fall in love and all that, and then you see that movies and that person is all the time tweeting and texting, and they both are always talking to each other, and we think this must be similar to that. In some way it is a similarity. Similarity does not mean equality also. Just because it's similar doesn't mean it's the same thing. But we have some understanding of that type of a thing. What it means to be absorbed in some way a little bit. But this is like total absorption, not just the mind. The entire consciousness completely filled. That's why Radharani is called Krishna Mayi, made of Krishna's thoughts. Consciousness of Krishna. Our name is Krishna Mayi, made of Krishna. What does it mean? It's not that the cut and paste Krishna or something. His consciousness is filled with Krishna and thoughts of Krishna, and separation from Krishna, and love of Krishna. Very intense. That can happen only with Krishna when Krishna is the object of love. It can happen with other things. There's no, that level of attraction you cannot have with anything else in this world, with anybody else in this world. So every soul has got this unique capability to become a lover of Krishna to this level. That same thing cannot happen with anybody else. Only with Krishna. This is the meaning of Amaivam Sajiva Loke Jivabhuta Sanatana. So all of us are supposed to come to that platform, utilize advantageously that. That's what Lord Chaitanya is giving in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's packed this attraction for him. And he's saying it. Chirad adattam nijagupta vittam swapremna namamritam ati udara. Chirad adattam, never before given to anybody. Nijagupta vittam, from his personal treasury. Vittam means treasury. Nidhi. Nijagupta vittam, not ordinary treasury. Deep inside. You have a safe, and in the first level you have your land documents and other things. On the second level you have your, children's jewels or something. On the third level you have your wife's diamonds and all. On the fourth level you have something you don't want to give anybody. Something. You have all sorts of levels of treasury. So it's mentioned here, Nija Gupta Vittam, very deep inside treasury. What is that? Swapremna Namamritam. Swapremna means love for himself. Is the most treasured item that Krishna has got in his treasury also. For him also, in his treasury, the most treasured, valuable item is love for him. Because he is the absolute supreme person. In his treasury also, love for him is the greatest treasure. That is why when the gopis after the Raslila, he appears, then he says that I have nothing equivalent to your love for me to give you, or anything greater than that. Simply be satisfied by this. In other words, I am lost. I can't equal anything else with you. So be satisfied with this love. That love for Krishna, Swapremna Namamritam Ati Udaraha, in the form of the holy name he is packed it, and he is Ati Udaraha, means very, very merciful, to take it from his treasury and give it to everybody so simply. Open your mouth, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you chant without offenses, you will get it. Is this not generous? Is this not somebody who is very magnanimously generous, very, very charitable, to use common words? So he's giving a topmost item, treasured item, just like that. And what he's speaking about, my devotees are like that, all this greatness of his devotees become available to you. If you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Chiradadattam, Nija Gupta Vittam, Swapremna Nama Mritamati Udaram. So, it's not that when we hear all these things, it's impossible for us to do it. It's possible. Krishna has also offered it when he has appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Love of Krishna is offered to us. So don't think the holy name we are chanting is an ordinary mantra or something. They're not ordinary mantra chanters. We are chanting the names of the Lord, and that is packed with love of Krishna. Love of Krishna is not an ordinary thing, like I've explained to you. And that will unravel itself if you chant without offenses. That's why this is so important that everybody should chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Whenever we get together, we should do Harinama Kirtan. Whenever we are alone, we should chant Japa deeply. And we should read the Bhagavad Gita, and spread this message to others. And in this way, you will remain in as a sadhaka in as much Krishna consciousness as is affordable to you. So, this is an opportunity, a great opportunity. And that's why we should not take it lightly. We should take it seriously. This is the treasure of the treasure of the treasure of the treasure being given to us very simply. Very simply. So although you may work very hard, you may earn money, you may stash it up and you may become rich and everything, somebody who gets this love of God, it can become far, far richer than anybody else. Your love of Krishna makes you the richest person because it's from the treasury of the Lord. Right? Don't think it's an ordinary treasure from the Reserve Bank of India or from the vault here in one of the big banks and investments and everything. It makes you rich. That's why Krishna is glorifying his devotee. Everywhere he speaks about devotion, his devotee. Toward the 12th chapter the other day we read, he's glorifying his devotee like nothing. Why? Because of Bhakti. The devotee possesses Bhakti, and Krishna becomes attracted to the devotee because he holds Bhakti with him. He can attract the Lord. The Lord becomes subordinate to the devotee. Bhaktya Vashyata. It comes under the control of the devotee who has love for him. This is not an ordinary thing that the supreme absolute truth comes under the control of the devotee. That's why when Durvasa Muni went to him, he said, I am subordinate to my devotee. He made this very famous statement. Asotantriya I am not independent. He made this, what is it? I forget the beginning of the shloka. Aham bhakta paradino hi ashwatantra ivad dvijah sadhuvir grasta hridayo bhaktain bhaktachana priya. Very stunning statement he made to Durvasa Muni. Was shocked hearing it. He says that Aham Bhakta Paradino, I am subordinate to my devotee, subordinate to Bhakti. He Ashwatantra Ivadvija, oh Brahmana, I have no independence in front of my devotee. Sadhuvir Grasta Hridayo, right? In his heart I always dwell. Bhaktain Bhaktachana Priya. What an amazing statement he made. And made Durvasa Muni go back all the way 6 months. Travel back, and he fell at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Then he came to know who is Ambarish Maharaj. He is a devotee. He came to know the value of devotion and being a devotee. He fell flat on the feet of Ambarish Maharaj and he saved me. I did a very big aparadh. I thought of you very casually. Really. And the greater, more amazing thing is that Ambarish Maharaj waited for 1 year, still holding on to his fast. That you are my Atiti. Unless I feed you, I cannot eat. So it seems for 1 year in his trip, 6 months up and 6 months down, Ambarish Maharaj also held on out of respect, following. Because he is a devotee, he is able to follow it to this extent. And Durvasa Muni was like completely flattened. Completely flattened. This is the greatness of a devotee. Bhakti is not an ordinary thing. It may be simply available with somebody because of its simplicity. It's simply available. But that does not mean it is cheap. It does not mean that because you chant Hare Krishna, you can get Bhakti. Bhakti is cheap. No. No. It's very, very valuable. It's very valuable. It's just that Krishna has decided to give it freely. And everybody who chants Hare Krishna can slowly start getting it. These are important information given to us in the Bhagavad Gita. And we should nicely understand these concepts. And we should respectfully practice devotional service. That is why Krishna does not like if you offend a devotee. Because there's a very deep connection between a devotee and Krishna. Not only out of respect. Not only out of respect. So, the Bhagavatam, you'll see so many wonderful stories. Prabhupada explaining the purport here, the devotee cannot be without thinking of Krishna. In the story of Prahlad Maharaj, you will see that Prahlad is remembering Krishna always. And they couldn't do anything to him because he was always filled with Krishna and filled with Krishna consciousness. They tried punishing him, they tried killing him. His father personally gave him poison, drink it in front of me. You rascal, you're not dying. And drink it. And he drank it and digested it. And again said, Papa, he is just very simple. He's still expressing love for his father. And he was so irritated with him. So irritated with him. And so, because Prahlad was so 100% Krishna conscious, Krishna never left him. He's completely protecting him. Threw him from top of a cliff, from top of a mountain, threw him to the ocean, threw him to the lion's den, got him stomped by elephants. Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. Why? Because Krishna is solidly protecting him. Hiranyakashipu could do nothing to him. He destroyed himself simply by wanting to do something to Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu destroyed himself. This is the power of love of God. This is the power of love of God. So in all these pastimes, especially of these great devotees, we can see that. Prabhupada was such an absorbed devotee. You can see in the purports that he writes through the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, about bhakti, about love of God. And we can very nicely understand that such a devotee absorbed in Krishna only can do such a feat of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. How dear Prabhupada must be to Krishna, that Krishna has used Prabhupada to spread love of Godhead all over the world, spread the holy name all over the world. That, Chiragada Nijagupta Vittam, Krishna has chosen Prabhupada to give my most treasured item. I want you to distribute it to everybody. What I've taken from my treasury, he's the one who finally distributes it to everybody all over the world and makes everybody know about it. Right? So how dear Prabhupada must be to Krishna. Prabhupada also knows that. When the devotees asked him in his walk, if Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is Sarva Shaktiman, he can do everything. Why he is struggling so much? We have to go, we have to, collect the money, build this thing, do the cooking, spread the holy name. It's so much work. If Krishna wants, he can just do it just like that, no? They had a logic, the understanding moreover. The Prabhupada turned around to them with a grave look and pointed and said, because he wanted me to do it. Why is Lord Chaitanya himself not doing it? He said, no, he wants me to do it. He made the statement because he wants me to do it. In other words, Chaitanya was acting through me only. He's only doing it through me. And Prabhupada was conscious about it. I'm the person who's supposed to do it. And he was doing it day and night. Out of love of Krishna, he was doing it. Spreading the movement. And asking all these people who don't know anything, he's using them as instruments to do it. And according to his order and his command, when they did it, it became successful. Because he said it and you're doing it, it becomes successful. It's powerful. Love of God is so powerful. When a pure devotee says something, it happens. And if you simply follow his order, you become an instrument, unbeknownst to you. Although you may not be so qualified, you become an instrument in his hands. It's not that you are great. It's just that you listen to him, it happens. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachana. Krishna told Arjuna also, don't worry about all these details and philosophy and this and that. Simply become my instrument. I want to work through you, through the Pandavas, through you, and get something done. Right? So in the same way, when we listen to Prabhupada, although we may not be very qualified, we distribute his books, we chant the holy name on the streets, we cook prasadam and distribute it to people, we are acting in accordance with God's wishes, with Krishna's wishes, coming through Prabhupada ji. We become purified. We actually become qualified to receive Krishna's mercy. Although we may not actually be qualified. Because we, Karishe Vachanam Tava, I shall do as you say. Arjuna also said the same thing to Krishna. He finally understood Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashwatam, Divyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhu. I have understood that you are the absolute truth, Parabrahman.